I moved to a new state, earned a big promotion, and not a single person in my family even noticed. Then one day, my cousin posted a photo of my condo online. Suddenly my mom texted me, "You could always sell it, to help your sister." Can you believe someone actually suggested I sell the one thing I'd worked my entire life for, the home I'd finally built for myself, just to bail out my sister again? It landed like a punch to the gut, a text message at 7:43 a.m. on a Tuesday, completely out of the blue, while I was standing in my kitchen, sipping coffee and watching the sunrise paint Boston Harbor gold. My mom's message read, "Mom, you could sell it to help your sister." No congratulations. No, when did this happen? Just a casual suggestion that I liquidate the biggest achievement of my 32 years on this planet. Let me back up, because this story isn't just about a text message. It's about a lifetime of feeling invisible. My name is Denise, and for the first 3 decades of my life, that was pretty much my defining characteristic. Middle child syndrome doesn't even begin to cover it. My older brother, Marcus, was the golden boy, full ride to UCLA, married his college sweetheart, gave my parents 2 perfect grandkids before he turned 28. Then there was my younger sister, Bethany, the baby. She could do no wrong, even when she was doing everything wrong. And me? I was the steady one. The reliable one. The one who didn't need attention or help because I was just fine. We grew up in Sacramento, in a modest 3-bedroom house. My dad worked for the city, my mom at a dental office. We weren't poor, but we weren't comfortable either. There was always a calculation, asterisk, can we afford this? Should we skip that? Maybe next year, asterisk. I learned early on that asking for things was pointless. When I was 14, I made it to the regional finals of a science competition in San Francisco. The entry fee was $75. My chest swelled with pride as I showed my parents the permission slip, certain they'd be thrilled. My dad just glanced at it during a commercial break. That's the same weekend as Bethany's dance recital. We can't miss that. But this is regionals, I pleaded. My teacher said I could actually win. My mom patted my hand. There will be other competitions, sweetie. Your sister has been practicing for months. There weren't other competitions. At least, not ones I bothered to mention. When Marcus got into UCLA, my parents threw a backyard bash for 30 people, sheet cake from the fancy bakery, champagne toasts. 3 years later, when I got into Boston University with a partial scholarship, my mom sent a thumbs-up emoji in the family group chat. That was it. I worked 3 jobs to cover the rest of my tuition, graduated with a degree in data analytics, and $47,000 in student loans. I moved back home because I couldn't afford Boston rent, spending 2 years working at a tech startup in Sacramento, sleeping in my childhood bedroom with its faded purple walls and high school posters. Bethany? She dropped out of community college after 1 semester. Not her vibe, she said. My parents, of course, nodded sympathetically and let her move back home, rent-free, while she found herself. She found herself working part-time at Sephora and dating a guy named Trevor who sold weed and played in a band that never actually had any gigs. Marcus, meanwhile, was climbing the corporate ladder. He and his wife, Amanda, bought a house in the suburbs with a pool. Every Sunday dinner at my parents' house became a showcase of their latest renovation or family vacation. I just kept my head down and worked. And I was good at it. Really good. I could look at raw data and see patterns others missed, translate complicated metrics into strategies that made sense. My boss at the startup noticed. A regional director from our Boston headquarters noticed, too. The job offer came on a Thursday in March, senior data analyst. A salary that made my eyes water. Full relocation package. Start date in 6 weeks. I told my family that Sunday at dinner. Boston, my mom frowned, like I'd said I was moving to Mars. It's a huge opportunity, I explained. The salary is almost double what I'm making now, and they're covering my move. But you just got settled here, my dad said, focused on his pot roast. Marcus looked up from his phone. Boston's expensive though. You sure you can swing it? The salary more than covers it, I replied, trying not to sound defensive. Bethany just yawned. Sounds cold. That was it. The extent of their reaction. The conversation immediately shifted to Marcus's upcoming promotion and a plumbing issue at his house. I flew to Boston 2 weeks later to apartment hunt. Found a one-bedroom in Brookline that wasn't fancy, but it was mine. My startup gave me a going-away happy hour. My coworkers seemed more excited than my own family had been. My mom called the night before my flight. Don't forget to text when you land and send us your new address. I will. Oh, and honey. Her voice shifted, the tone that always meant a favor was coming. Could you lend Bethany $2,000 before you go? She needs it for first and last month's rent on an apartment with Trevor. My stomach dropped. Mom, I need that money for my move. I already gave her $1,500 last year that she never paid back. She's really trying this time, Denise. She can't keep living at home. You know how hard it is out there for young people. I'm a young person, I said quietly. You're doing fine. You have this big fancy job now. She needs the help. I didn't give her the money. It caused a 3-day Cold War, my mom sending passive-aggressive texts about family helping family, and Bethany posting Instagram stories about fake people who forget where they came from. I moved to Boston on a rainy April morning. My parents didn't offer to help me pack or drive me to the airport. Marcus sent a good luck text. Bethany didn't acknowledge it at all. The new job was intense, but incredible. I was working with a team of brilliant people on projects that actually mattered. My boss, Catherine, a woman in her 50s, was sharper than anyone I'd ever met. She took me under her wing, pushing me harder than anyone ever had. 6 months in, I was leading my own projects. A year in, I was managing a small team. Then, 18 months in, Catherine called me to her office on a Friday afternoon. How do you feel about Chicago? She asked. I've never been. You're about to become very familiar with it. We're opening a new regional office, and I want you to run the analytics department. Director level, full benefits, equity package, salary we can discuss, but I promise you'll like the number. Director at 31 years old. I said yes before she'd finished explaining the details. The Chicago position came with a relocation bonus substantial enough that I could actually buy instead of rent. I spent 3 weeks looking, finally settling on a 2-bedroom condo in Lincoln Park with exposed brick, updated appliances, and windows overlooking a tree-lined street. The mortgage was less than my Brookline rent had been. I closed in November, moved in December, started the new position in January. The Chicago winter hit harder than Boston's ever had. The wind off Lake Michigan felt personal, cutting through every layer I owned. But there was something energizing about it, too. About starting over in a city where nobody knew me as the invisible middle child or the reliable one who never complained. My first week at the new office was a whirlwind. The team I'd inherited was skeptical, I could see it in their faces. Their previous director had been there for 15 years. Now they had a 31-year-old woman from Boston telling them how things would work. I didn't try to win them over with friendliness. I won them over by being better at the job than they expected. Within 2 weeks, I'd identified inefficiencies and proposed solutions that cut their project turnaround time by 30%. By week 3, the skepticism had shifted to respect. My new apartment, my new home, slowly transformed from an empty shell into something that felt like mine. I bought actual furniture, not the cheap particle board stuff I'd been making do with for years. A real bed frame. A couch that didn't hurt my back. Kitchen tools beyond. The bare minimum because I was tired of takeout. Every purchase felt significant, like I was building not just a home, but an identity. This is who I am now, I thought, selecting throw pillows or debating paint colors for the accent wall. Someone who has throw pillows. Someone whose walls aren't just blank white. The holidays came fast. I worked through Thanksgiving, volunteering to cover for team members because what else was I going to do? Fly back to Sacramento and sit at a table where nobody would ask about my life? Catherine sent the entire Chicago office premium gift baskets. Mine sat on my counter for 3 days before I opened it. Inside was a handwritten note: "Thank you for making this transition seamless. You're exactly where you're supposed to be." I cried reading it. Actual tears over a note from my boss because it was the first time in months anyone had acknowledged what I'd accomplished. Christmas was worse. The family group chat filled with photos of Marcus's kids, Bethany and Trevor, looking hungover but happy at my parents' house, my mom's elaborately decorated tree. I sent a generic "Merry Christmas" and got a thumbs up from my dad and nothing else. I spent Christmas Day walking along the lakefront, bundled in my new winter coat, feeling the specific loneliness of having chosen your own path. It was the right choice. I knew it was. But that didn't make it easy. January brought a fresh start mentality, and I leaned into it hard. I set up one-on-ones with each of my team members, really listening to their goals. I started a weekly analytics workshop. The work was consuming but incredibly satisfying. For the first time, I wasn't just executing someone else's vision, I was creating my own. I posted exactly one photo on my private Instagram, just about 80 followers, mostly college friends and former coworkers, a shot of my empty living room with moving boxes, captioned, "New City, New Chapter." My family didn't follow me on social media. I knew this because I'd posted plenty of photos from Boston over the past 2 years, the harbor, fall foliage, my tiny but proud Brookline apartment, and received zero reactions from any of them. The only family member who followed me was my cousin Ashley. She liked the photo, commented, "Congrats," with 3 heart emojis. 3 months passed. I worked 14-hour days, getting the Chicago office operational. I was good at it, better than I'd expected. Catherine called monthly, always ending the conversation with praise I still wasn't quite used to receiving. One win stands out: we landed a major retail client in February after a presentation I'd spent 3 weeks perfecting. The client CEO shook my hand and said, "You just saved us about $2 million in operational costs. When can you start?" My team celebrated with drinks at a bar near the office. Watching them laugh and toast our success, I realized I'd built something real here. Not just a department, but a group of people who trusted me. On the train ride home that night, buzzed from 2 glasses of wine and the high of winning, I almost texted my mom. Almost sent her a message about the client, the contract, the validation. My thumb hovered over her name for a full minute before I put the phone away. What would be the point? She'd send back something minimal or, worse, redirect the conversation to Marcus's latest achievement or Bethany's latest crisis. I was tired of serving up my wins only to watch them get dismissed. I furnished my condo slowly, carefully. An actual couch instead of the futon I'd had in Boston. A dining table that seated 6, even though I ate alone. Artwork that wasn't posters. I was building a life that felt solid, permanent, mine. The family group chat continued without me, mostly. Marcus posted photos of his kids. Bethany shared memes. Mom sent articles about health. Dad occasionally chimed in with dad jokes that nobody acknowledged. I posted once in February, officially settled in Chicago. New job is going great. Mom, that's nice, honey. Marcus, yep. Bethany, no response. In March, I got promoted again, associate director to director of analytics operations, overseeing 3 regional teams. Another salary bump, a bonus structure, and my name on the company website's leadership page. I took a screenshot of the announcement email and stared at it for 5 minutes before closing it without sharing. What was the point? Late March. Ashley came to Chicago for a work conference. We met for dinner at an Italian place near my condo. "This city is gorgeous," she said over carbonara. "Way cleaner than I expected." "It grows on you," I admitted. "How's everyone back home?" She made a face. "Oh, you know, same drama, different day. Your mom's been helping Bethany and Trevor pay rent because apparently neither of them can hold a job for more than 3 months. Marcus is being Marcus. Did you hear Amanda's pregnant again? I hadn't. That's great. Third kid. Ashley rolled her eyes. Your mom is thrilled. She talks about Marcus's family constantly. Meanwhile, my mom keeps asking why I'm not married yet, as if being 29 and single is some kind of personal failure. We spent the rest of dinner trading stories about family dysfunction, and it felt good to laugh about it with someone who understood. After dinner, I walked her back towards her hotel, taking a route that passed my building. Wait, you live right here? Ashley stopped in front of my building, a beautiful renovated factory with original windows. Third floor. I pointed up at my windows, warm light glowing behind the curtains. Can I see it? I've got time before I need to be back. I hesitated, then shrugged. Sure. We took the elevator up, and I unlocked the door, suddenly seeing it through someone else's eyes. The exposed brick accent wall, the kitchen with granite counters, the artwork I'd chosen, the built-in bookshelves, the windows overlooking the street where spring trees were just starting to bud. Denise, Ashley said, stopping in the middle of the living room, turning slowly. This place is amazing. Like, legitimately beautiful. Thanks. It's been a work in progress. And you own this? Yeah. Closed in November. She pulled out her phone. I'm taking pictures. My apartment looks like a college dorm compared to this. You don't have to. Too late. She was already snapping photos. Can I post one? My friends won't believe this is real. I should have said no. I should have anticipated what would happen. But Ashley's genuine excitement made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in years. So, I nodded. She posted a photo of my living room with the caption, "My cousin's new place in Chicago." #goals, #interior design, #adulting, #city. I didn't think about it again. Ashley flew home the next day. I went back to work, managing a crisis, interviewing candidates. 4 days later, the text from my mom arrived. 7:43 a.m. Tuesday morning. Coffee in hand. Harbor sunrise. Phone buzzing on the counter. Mom, you could sell it to help your sister. I read it 3 times, waiting for my brain to make it make sense. There was no context, no preamble, just that single sentence loaded with so much audacity that I almost dropped my mug. My phone rang immediately. My mom. I answered. Hello? Did you see my text? No greeting, no warmth. I saw it. So, will you think about it? Think about what, exactly? Selling your condo. She said it like I was being deliberately dense. Ashley posted pictures. It's a very nice place, Denise. Must be worth a lot of money. And you want me to sell it because Bethany needs help? My voice was rising. Trevor lost his job again, and they're about to be evicted. If you sold your place, you could give her enough for a down payment on something. Help her get stable. I leaned against the counter, trying to process the layers of entitlement in that statement. Mom, I just bought this place 4 months ago. I'm not selling it. But you don't need something so big. You're just one person. You could rent a studio or something cheaper. And use the difference to help family. I worked for this, my voice came out harder than I'd intended. I've worked for everything I have. I'm not selling my home. That's very selfish, Denise. Her tone turned cold. Family helps family. We've always been there for you. The question came out before I could stop it. When have you been there for me? Excuse me? Name one time. One specific time you supported me the way you support Bethany, or celebrated me the way you celebrate Marcus. Silence. I moved across the country twice, and you couldn't be bothered to help me pack or say anything beyond "that's nice." I've gotten 3 promotions in 3 years, and you've never once asked about my job. You don't follow me on social media. You didn't even know I owned a condo until Ashley posted a picture. You have no idea what my life looks like because you've never asked. We're a busy family. No. My hands were shaking. You make time for what matters to you. Marcus matters. His kids matter. Bethany matters, even when she's screwing up constantly. I've never mattered. I've been funding my own life since I was 18. And now that I'm finally successful, you want me to give it away to someone who's never had to work for anything? Bethany has struggled. Bethany has been handed everything and thrown it away. I paid for my education. I worked 3 jobs. I rebuilt my entire life in cities where I didn't know anyone, and I did it without asking you for a dime because I knew you wouldn't give it to me anyway. That's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. None of this has ever been fair. I hung up. My hands were trembling so hard I had to set my phone down. It rang again. I declined the call. Again. Declined. A text from Marcus. Mom said you yelled at her. What's going on? Then Bethany, wow. So you won't even help your own sister. Nice to know you only care about yourself. Then my mom again, we're very disappointed in you after everything we've done for you. This is how you treat your family. I turned my phone face down and got ready for work. The bombardment continued all day. Text after text, missed call after missed call. By evening, the family group chat was a war zone. Marcus, Denise, you need to apologize to Mom. She's really upset. Bethany, of course, Denise gets rich and forgets about everyone else. Typical. Mom, I can't believe I raised such a selfish daughter. Dad, breaking his usual silence, Denise, your mother is very hurt. We think you should reconsider. I read them all. Didn't respond to any of them. Ashley called around 8 p.m. I am so sorry. I had no idea posting that picture would cause problems. It's not your fault, I told her. They would have found out eventually. Your mom called my mom asking how much your place cost. My mom called me demanding to know why I didn't tell her you were rich now. She sighed. This family is exhausting. Tell me about it. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling of my beautiful condo, the home I'd worked so hard for, and something crystallized in my mind. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. The next morning, I posted on the family group chat. It took me an hour to write, deleting and rewriting until I got it right. Since there seems to be confusion, let me clarify some things. I moved to Boston 3 years ago. No one offered to help me move or ask how I was adjusting. I was promoted twice in Boston. No one acknowledged either promotion. I moved to Chicago 6 months ago for a director position. No one asked about the move, the job, or how I was doing. I bought a condo in December. No one knew until Ashley posted a picture last week. You've now accused me of being selfish for not selling my home to give Bethany money. Let me be clear. I will never do that. Not because I don't care about family, but because caring about family is supposed to go both ways. You can't ignore someone for years and then demand they sacrifice for you when it's convenient. I've spent my entire adult life being invisible to this family unless you needed something from me. I'm done with that. If you want a relationship with me, you're welcome to try, but it will require actual effort and interest in my life. If you just want someone to bail out Bethany whenever she makes bad choices, look elsewhere. I love you all, but I'm choosing myself now. Something I should have done years ago. I sent it. Muted the group chat. Blocked Bethany's number after she sent 3 paragraphs of insults. Left Mom and Dad able to contact me, but put their notifications on silent. The following days were quiet. I half expected an avalanche of responses, but there was nothing. Either they were respecting my boundaries, or talking about me in a separate chat I wasn't in. Probably the latter. Ashley texted, standing ovation. Seriously, that was the bravest thing I've ever seen anyone say in that family. Marcus called once. I let it go to voicemail. His message was brief. Hey, Denise. I think I owe you an apology. Can we talk sometime? I saved the voicemail. Didn't call back yet. Work became my focus. We landed 2 major new clients in April. I hired 3 talented analysts who reminded me of myself at their age: hungry, brilliant, underestimated. I mentored them the way Catherine had mentored me, making sure they knew their work mattered. Catherine flew to Chicago in May for a quarterly review. Over lunch at a steakhouse, she asked, "How are you managing work-life balance?" "You've been pushing hard." "I don't have much of a life to balance," I admitted. "Work is pretty much it right now." "That's sustainable short-term, but you'll burn out." She set down her fork. I did the same thing in my 30s. Built my career at the expense of everything else. I don't regret the success, but I regret not making space for other things. Like what? Whatever feeds you outside of spreadsheets and presentations. For me, it was pottery classes and a book club. Sounds mundane, but it kept me human. She smiled. You're exceptionally talented, Denise. But talent doesn't mean much if you're miserable. I thought about that conversation for days. I realized I'd been so focused on proving myself, on achieving, that I'd forgotten to actually enjoy any of it. I started small, joined a yoga studio, downloaded a dating app, and went on a few mediocre dates and one surprisingly good one with a lawyer named David who made me laugh and didn't seem intimidated by my job. I started exploring Chicago's neighborhoods on weekends. Life started feeling less like a series of accomplishments to unlock and more like something I was actually living. In June, Marcus called again. This time, I answered. Hey, he said, sounding uncertain. You got a minute? Sure. I wanted to apologize. Really apologize, not just say words. He paused. I've been thinking a lot about what you said in that text. You were right. I took you for granted. You were always just there, handling your stuff, not asking for anything. So, I guess I convinced myself you were fine and didn't need attention or support. I wasn't fine, I said quietly. I was lonely and invisible. I know. I see that now. Amanda's been on my case about it, too. She noticed before I did, said every time we'd have Sunday dinner, you'd shrink into yourself around the table. I thought you were just quiet. I was tired of competing for scraps of attention. He exhaled. I'm sorry, Denise. I'm sorry I wasn't a better brother. I'm sorry I didn't celebrate your successes or check in when you moved or do any of the things family is supposed to do. I felt something loosen in my chest. Thank you. That means a lot. Can we start over? I'd really like to know about your life. Like, actually know. What's Chicago like? How's the job? Are you dating anyone? We talked for an hour. I told him about my condo, my team, David, the lawyer. He told me about struggles at his own job he'd never mentioned before, how he and Amanda were in marriage. Counseling because 3 kids had put strain on their relationship in ways they hadn't anticipated. It was the first real conversation we'd had in years, maybe ever. Mom's still not talking about you, he said toward the end. She tells people you're going through a phase. Dad just changes the subject. What about Bethany? Still living at home, still with Trevor, still blaming everyone but herself for her problems. He hesitated. She asked me to lend her money last week. And I said no. First time I've ever done that. How'd she react? Called me selfish. Said I was turning into you. He laughed. I told her if being like you meant being successful and independent, I'd take that as a compliment. After we hung up, I sat on my couch in my condo, in my chosen city, and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not happiness exactly, but satisfaction. Peace. My phone buzzed. David, asking if I wanted to get dinner Friday. I said yes. July brought a heatwave and another promotion. This one to senior director, with oversight of 5 regional offices. My salary crossed into 6 figures in a way that made my student loans feel manageable for the first time ever. I called my dad. Mom answered. "It's Denise," I said. Silence. "I got promoted again. I wanted to let you know." "That's nice." Her voice was cold. "I also wanted to say that my boundaries stand. If you want a relationship with me, you know what that requires. If not, I understand. You embarrassed this family." I told the truth. If the truth is embarrassing, that's not my fault. Bethany cries about you. Bethany can call me herself if she wants to talk. Don't hold your breath. Mom hung up. Dad called back an hour later. "Your mother's proud of you," he said quietly. "She won't say it, but she is." "Then she should say it. You know how she is." "I do. That's why I'm not apologizing." He sighed. "Your promotion. Tell me about it." So I did. He listened, asked questions, seemed genuinely interested. It was something. August brought an unexpected visitor. Ashley called from O'Hare. "Surprise. I'm in Chicago for the weekend. Please tell me you're free for at least one meal." We met for brunch Sunday. She looked tired but happy. "I quit my job," she announced over mimosas. "What? When?" "Last week. Gave 2 weeks' notice. Walked out Friday." She grinned. "I'm moving to Portland. Starting over." "You inspired me." "I inspired you to quit your job?" "You inspired me to stop settling. I've been miserable in Sacramento, stuck in a career I hate, surrounded by family who drain me. Watching you just leave and build something better made me realize I could do the same." "Portland's great. You'll love it." "I'm terrified," she admitted, but also excited. Like, for the first time in my 20s, I'm excited about my future. We spent the afternoon walking through the city, and I found myself giving advice I'd learned the hard way about building community in a new place, managing loneliness, trusting yourself when everything feels uncertain. "You're different than you used to be," Ashley said as we sat by the lake. "More confident. More yourself." "I'm just not shrinking anymore." "It looks good on you." September marked 1 year since I'd moved to Chicago. I threw a small dinner party at my condo. David, a few coworkers who'd become friends, a couple I'd met at yoga. 8 people total gathered around my dining table that finally had a purpose. Over dessert, David asked how I'd ended up in Chicago. I gave the professional version: job opportunity, career advancement, right place at the right time. Later, while we were cleaning up, he said, "That's not the whole story, though, is it?" "What do you mean?" "You moved here alone, started over completely. That takes more than just a job offer. That takes running from something, or towards something." "Maybe both," I admitted. He kissed my forehead. "Whatever you were running from, I'm glad you ended up here." October brought the first real cold snap and an unexpected email from Bethany. "I know you probably hate me. I've been really awful to you. Marcus told me some things about how you felt growing up, and I guess I never realized how much Mom and Dad ignored you. I always thought you had it easy because you were smart and didn't need help like I did. I'm sorry for asking you for money and for calling you selfish." "You're not." "I am. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I wanted to say I'm sorry." I read it 10 times, showed it to David. "What do you think?" he asked. "I think it's a start," I said. "Maybe not enough, but a start." I wrote back, "Thank you for apologizing. That took courage. I don't hate you. I just can't be your backup plan anymore. If you want to work on having a real relationship, I'm open to that, but it has to be mutual effort." She responded, "I understand, and yeah, I'd like that." Thanksgiving approached. Marcus invited me to his house for dinner. "Small thing," he said. Just us and Amanda and the kids. Mom and Dad are going to Bethany's. Bethany's cooking Thanksgiving. God, no, they're bringing everything. But she asked to host, and apparently that's growth worth celebrating. I flew to Sacramento for 3 days. Met Marcus's new baby, played with his older kids, had real conversations with Amanda about work and life. It felt normal, good. Marcus drove me past my parents' house. The lights were on. I felt nothing. No longing, no anger, just distance. You could stop by, he suggested. I could, I said, but I don't want to. Fair enough. Christmas came. Mom sent a card with a generic message and no personal note. Dad included a check for $50, like I was still in college. I sent them both a card with a photo of myself in front of the Chicago Bean, looking happy and whole. Signed it, Love, Denise, with my new address printed on the back. New Year's Eve. David and I watched fireworks from my living room windows, the city sparkling below us. What are you hoping for this year? He asked. I thought about it. A year ago, I would have said another promotion, a bigger achievement, more proof of my worth. Now, I said softly, I just want to keep building this. Whatever this is. I gestured around the home I'd created, the life I'd built, the person I'd become. All of it. This thing where I matter to myself, whether anyone else notices or not. He pulled me close. I notice. I know. But that's not why I did it. January brought another year, another review cycle, another round of raises and bonuses. Catherine called with news. The company is expanding to the West Coast, she said. They want someone to establish the Seattle office. Before you say anything, I know you just got settled in Chicago. I know this is asking a lot, but Denise, you're the best person for this, and truthfully, I think you'd love Seattle. Can I think about it? Take a month. But know that if you say yes, we're talking VP level, equity package, real leadership. I talked it through with David, with Marcus, with Ashley, who video called from Portland with strong opinions about the Pacific Northwest, with my therapist. Yes, I'd started therapy. In the end, the decision was easier than I expected. Not because I didn't love Chicago, but because I'd proven to myself that I could build a home anywhere. That I wasn't running anymore. I was choosing. I called Catherine. Yes, I said. Yes to Seattle. When do I start? Her laugh was delighted. You're going to do incredible things, Denise. You already have. I told my family in a group chat I'd unmuted for the occasion, new adventure. Moving to Seattle in March for a VP position. Excited for what's next. Marcus, that's amazing. Proud of you, sis. Ashley, Seattle. I can visit constantly. So proud of you. Dad, congratulations, sweetheart. Mom, no response. Bethany, congrats, Denise. That's really cool. It wasn't perfect. It probably never would be. But it was honest. The day before I left Chicago, I walked through my condo one last time. I'd sold it for considerably more than I'd paid, the market had been good to me. I was buying something smaller in Seattle, banking the difference, building security for myself because nobody else would. I ran my hand along the exposed brick wall, remembering that first morning when Mom's text had arrived. How small I'd felt for a moment, before I decided to stand up. This place had been my fortress. My proof. My beginning. David helped me load the last boxes into the moving truck. We decided to try long distance, neither of us ready to give up yet. You good? He asked. I looked back at the building, then forward at the road ahead. Yeah, I said. I'm good. And I was. Because I'd learned the most important lesson of all. You can't make people see you. You can only see yourself. And once you do, once you truly value your own life, your own worth, your own success, it stops mattering who else is paying attention. I drove away from Chicago towards Seattle with my furniture in a truck behind me and my whole life ahead of me. Built by my own hands, celebrated by my own heart. And if nobody from my family noticed this move either, that was fine. I noticed. And that was enough.